He's Hollywood royalty, an Oscar-winning actor, and a powerhouse producer. But beyond the red carpets and box office hits, Michael Douglas, now 80, lives a life of extraordinary wealth, deep family roots, and refined luxury. With a staggering net worth of $350 million, Douglas splits his time between breathtaking estates, including a stunning New York home that blends old money elegance with modern sophistication. Alongside his glamorous wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and their 3 children, his lifestyle is the perfect mix of fame, fortune, and fiercely guarded privacy. From his private car collection to the lavish details of his home life and the legacy he's built over decades in the spotlight, Michael Douglas's world is as captivating off-screen as it is on. Let's step inside the life of a true Hollywood legend. Michael Douglas entered the world on September 25, 1944, in New Brunswick, New Jersey, into a household where the spotlight was practically part of the family furniture. The eldest son of legendary actor Kirk Douglas and British Bermudian actress Diana Dill, Michael was born into cinematic royalty with a dual cultural legacy, an American by birth and a British citizen with Bermudian status, thanks to his mother's roots in Devonshire Parish. His early life wasn't just shaped by red carpets and studio lights, but also by a serious dedication to education. From the Allen Stevenson School in Manhattan to Choate in Connecticut, and then onward to the University of California, Santa Barbara, where he graduated in 1968 with a degree in drama, Douglas was clearly prepping for a life both on and behind the screen. He also sharpened his acting skills in New York under the guidance of Win Handman at the American Place Theater. Michael's first step into acting came in 1969 on the CBS special The Experiment, a modest but important foot in the door. That same year, he took a leap into feature films with Hail, Hero, earning a Golden Globe nomination for Most Promising Newcomer, an early indication that he wasn't just riding on his father's coattails, but it was his role on the TV series The Streets of San Francisco, alongside veteran actor Karl Malden, that truly established him. Malden didn't just play his partner on screen, he became a lifelong mentor and friend, someone Douglas remained close to until Malden's death in 2009. A defining moment of Michael's early career came not in front of the camera, but behind it. In 1975, his father handed him the rights to Ken Kesey's novel, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Rather than simply option the story, Michael dove headfirst into producing it with Saul Zaentz. The result? One of the most iconic films of all time, and an Academy Award for Best Picture, before Michael had even become a major film star himself. Soon enough, Douglas was both producing and headlining a string of commercially successful and culturally influential films. There was the tense political thriller The China Syndrome with Jane Fonda and Jack Lemmon, and the athletic drama Running, the same year. Then came the charming, treasure-hunting rogue in Romancing the Stone, and its sequel, The Jewel of the Nile, proving that Douglas had the charisma to headline big-budget adventures. By the end of the decade, he was everywhere, playing dangerously seductive roles in Fatal Attraction, satirizing the breakdown of marriage in The War of the Roses, and starring as a hardened detective in Black Rain. But the role that solidified his place in film history was Gordon Gekko in Oliver Stone's Wall Street, a slick, calculating symbol of 1980s corporate greed. With his infamous line, "Greed is good," Douglas not only won the Academy Award for Best Actor, but also gave cinema one of its most memorable anti-heroes. Over 2 decades later, in 2010, he returned to that role in Wall Street. Money Never Sleeps, revisiting Gekko in a post-financial crisis world with a performance that showed both evolution and continuity in the character. As the 1990s rolled in, Michael Douglas seemed to find a rhythm that few in Hollywood ever truly master. A steady flow of daring roles, box office hits, and genre-defining performances that kept his career not just alive, but thriving. In 1992, he lit up the screen in Basic Instinct, a provocative psychological thriller that sizzled with tension thanks to the electric chemistry between Douglas and Sharon Stone. Just a year later, he took a sharp turn with Falling Down, portraying a man unraveling under the weight of modern society in a performance that was equal parts intense and unsettling. He wasn't slowing down. In 1994, Douglas found himself entangled in corporate warfare and sexual politics opposite Demi Moore in Disclosure, a film that sparked more than a few conversations. Then came The Ghost and the Darkness in 1996, where he battled lions in colonial Africa, followed by the mind-bending thriller The Game, helmed by David Fincher, where Douglas played a jaded billionaire forced to question reality. He capped off the decade with A Perfect Murder, a sleek reimagining of Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder, showing that his taste for suspense remained as sharp as ever. As the new millennium dawned, Douglas proved that his dramatic edge hadn't dulled. He turned in an unforgettable performance in Steven Soderbergh's Traffic, a gritty ensemble piece that tackled the complexities of the drug trade. That same year, he charmed audiences as a washed-up novelist in Wonder Boys, reminding everyone of his range and ability to anchor a story with quiet power. In Don't Say a Word, he took on a darker, more intense role, chasing secrets and navigating kidnappings in a psychological thriller that kept viewers guessing. But perhaps one of the most heartfelt entries in his later career was It Runs in the Family, a rare cinematic moment that brought together 3 generations of the Douglas family: Michael, his father Kirk, and his son Cameron. The film offered something uniquely personal, a glimpse into a dynasty of performers navigating fiction and reality on screen. Then came a surprising turn into the world of superheroes. In 2015, Douglas joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Dr. Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, in the film Ant-Man, bringing gravitas and a scientist's soul to the role. He reprised the character in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and again in the blockbuster ensemble film Avengers: Endgame, introducing his iconic legacy to a new generation of fans while holding his own amid the chaos of capes and cosmic battles. Awards and honors have followed Douglas like a shadow throughout his career, not just for his talent, but for the longevity and depth of his contributions to film. He holds 2 Academy Awards, one for producing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and another for his performance in Wall Street. Add to that 5 Golden Globe Awards, a Primetime Emmy, the prestigious Cecil B. DeMille Award, and the AFI Life Achievement Award, and you get a sense of just how deeply he's carved his name into Hollywood's granite. In 2015, Douglas received the Genesis Prize, often dubbed the Jewish Nobel, which came with a $1 million award. True to his values and vision, he announced that the money would go toward programs that champion inclusion and diversity within Jewish communities, a gesture that fused his public platform with personal purpose. Tucked away along the sun-soaked coastline of Spain's enchanting Balearic island of Mallorca lies one of the most breathtaking properties in celebrity real estate: Michael Douglas's estate, Cestaca. This isn't just a vacation home, it's a 250-acre Mediterranean paradise steeped in history, romance, and cinematic flair. Originally purchased in 1990 for $3.5 million, equivalent to roughly $6 million today, Douglas acquired the property with his then-wife, Diandra Luker. And though the couple has long since parted ways, the estate remains co-owned by both, serving as a shared slice of their past and a testament to the allure of old-world elegance. Perched along the island's rugged northwest coast, Sestaka is no ordinary estate. It's a compound that tells stories through its architecture, views, and sheer scale. The property includes a stunning 10,000-square-foot main house, along with multiple guest cottages totaling 7 separate buildings. Altogether, there are 10 bedrooms and several sprawling terraces offering panoramic views of the sparkling sea and the majestic Tramontana Mountains, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The design blends traditional Mallorcan elements with modern upgrades, creating a harmonious blend of rustic charm and refined luxury. Once owned by Archduke Ludwig Salvator of Austria in the 19th century, Sestaka has long attracted creatives, royals, and romantics. Douglas, who has called it his spiritual retreat, poured his heart into restoring and updating the estate while maintaining its historic soul. Vineyards, olive groves, and centuries-old cypress trees dot the landscape. Meandering stone paths connect the main house to the gardens, the pool, and private viewing spots carved into the cliffs. Ideal for a quiet morning espresso or a dramatic sunset toast. Inside the home, every detail speaks to a life well curated. Think timber-beamed ceilings, arched doorways, hand-laid tile floors, and large windows that frame the shimmering Mediterranean like living paintings. The living spaces are intimate yet grand, perfect for hosting family, entertaining friends, or simply enjoying the sounds of the sea in solitude. Each room seems to whisper stories from another time. The estate's drama extended beyond its cliffside. Views in 2014, when Douglas and Diandra listed it for a staggering $60 million. Despite its grandeur and pedigree, the estate lingered on the market, its price tag outpacing even the most ambitious buyers. By 2019, they adjusted expectations and relisted the property for $32 million, hoping to attract new interest. Still, no buyer emerged, and eventually, Sestaka was quietly withdrawn from the market, as if retreating back into its private world of vineyards, views, and star-studded seclusion. Today, the estate remains in the family, a shared yet deeply personal chapter in the lives of both Douglas and Luker. It stands not just as a piece of real estate, but as a living monument to heritage, art, and escape. A place where Hollywood meets the timeless rhythms of the Spanish coast. Tucked into the lush, rolling hills of New York's prestigious Westchester County, once stood a slice of quiet luxury owned by Hollywood royalty, Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. The couple, known for their enduring careers and timeless elegance, purchased this breathtaking 13-acre estate in 2015 for $11.3 million. What they acquired wasn't just a home, it was a countryside escape, just 40 miles from the buzz of Manhattan, yet worlds away in its tranquility. This estate, with its classic architecture and secluded grandeur, perfectly reflected the couple's refined taste and appreciation for privacy. Gated and tree-lined, the long driveway gave way to a stately brick manor that seemed plucked from the English countryside. Graceful and poised with manicured lawns stretching out in every direction. Surrounded by woods, the property offered complete seclusion, a rare find in such an elite area. Inside, the home was every bit as elegant as you might expect. The sprawling main residence included multiple living and entertaining areas, with grand fireplaces, wood-paneled libraries, and soaring ceilings. Each room was designed to feel warm and welcoming, while maintaining a distinctly sophisticated aesthetic. The kitchen blended rustic charm with top-tier appliances, and the formal dining room was fit for hosting everything from intimate family dinners to glittering holiday soirees. Upstairs, the master suite served as a private retreat, with his and hers, bathrooms, custom closets, and sweeping views of the surrounding grounds, it provided a peaceful haven from the demands of public life. Additional bedrooms and guest suites offered luxury accommodations for friends and family. The estate was made for both privacy and entertaining. A luxurious indoor swimming pool and spa allowed for year-round relaxation, while the outdoor grounds included expansive terraces, lush gardens, and winding trails that led to quiet seating areas or scenic overlooks. There was also a full tennis court and plenty of space for recreation, whether that meant outdoor yoga at sunrise or afternoon croquet beneath the trees. What set the property apart was its rare balance: old-world elegance with the comforts of modern living and a peaceful location just a short drive from the cultural heart of New York City. It's easy to imagine the couple enjoying serene weekends there, walking the grounds or enjoying a glass of wine by the fire. In 2019, Michael and Catherine sold the estate for $20.5 million, nearly doubling their original investment. But the UET house itself, with all its quiet glamour and wooded beauty, remains a reminder of their eye for exceptional properties and their ability to turn any house into a home. Beautiful, private, and filled with grace. Michael Douglas's taste in cars is as rich and storied as his film career, spanning generations of automotive design. From the pre-war elegance of hand-built classics to cutting-edge hybrids and monster off-roaders. It all begins in the 1930s, with one of the true gems of early American automotive art, the 1934 Ford Model 3. This pre-Wutu classic captures the stripped-down beauty of the era. With its flathead V8 engine, delivering between 85 and 100 horsepower, depending on the trim, this car wasn't built for speed by today's standards, but it was a mechanical marvel in its time. Its design is charmingly simple. A bench seat, a basic dash, wood or steel trim, and leather or cloth upholstery that echoed the fashion of the decade. This isn't just a car, it's a time machine on wheels, a symbol of America's industrial ingenuity in its golden age. Fast forward a few decades, and you'll find Douglas embracing a very different kind of automotive excellence with his 1962 Mercedes-Benz 300 SE. At the time, this was the pinnacle of German engineering and understated opulence. Its 3.0-liter inline-six engine made 160 horsepower, but the numbers hardly tell the full story. The ride was whisper-smooth, the handling precise, and the experience inside the cabin? Pure refinement. Leather seats, gleaming wood accents, and a dashboard that looked more like a gentleman's study than a control center. This was a car for those who appreciated the art of motion, not just the mechanics. Just a few years later, the 1969 Mercedes-Benz 280 SE would join the collection, offering a slightly more modern twist on that same philosophy. With its nearly 3.0-liter inline-six delivering around 140 horsepower, this luxury sedan brought a new level of grace and drivability to the scene. The 280 SE captured the cool, confident vibe of late 60s design. Quality leather, polished chrome, and wood trim throughout a spacious interior that was both elegant and inviting. It wasn't flashy, it didn't need to be. Its beauty was in the details, in the way it moved, and in the craftsmanship you could feel in every inch of its design. But Douglas doesn't just live in the world of classic luxury. He's also got a taste for the outrageous. Enter the Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6X6. Yes, 6 wheels. This beast was built for extremes, originally designed for military applications before being reimagined by AMG into a road-legal monster with the comfort of a luxury suite. Under the hood, a 5.5-liter biturbo V8 cranks out over 550 horsepower. Its six-wheel drive setup and massive suspension mean it can climb, crawl, and conquer just about anything in its path. Yet, step inside, and you're met with a plush, leather-lined cabin outfitted with tech and comfort, more at home in a penthouse than a pickup. It's the kind of vehicle that doesn't just make a statement, it shouts it from the mountaintop. And then, balancing out all that muscle and grandeur, comes the Toyota Prius. Quiet, efficient, and humble, the Prius is the opposite of the G63, yet it holds its own place of pride in the collection. With a hybrid powertrain that delivers a combined output of about 121 horsepower, it's not going to win any drag races, but it wasn't built to. Instead, the Prius offers whisper-quiet rides, unmatched fuel efficiency, and a minimalist interior, loaded with forward-thinking tech. It's practical, eco-conscious, and speaks to a different kind of intelligence, the one that sees the road ahead and thinks about how to leave it better than we found it. Together, these vehicles form a kind of automotive autobiography, one that spans generations, styles, and philosophies. In a 2016 interview with Town & Country, Michael Douglas described his philanthropic strategy as the sprinkle approach, a phrase that perfectly captures the way he's quietly, yet consistently, made meaningful contributions across a broad spectrum of causes. It's not about giant headlines or single-issue crusades for Douglas. Instead, it's a gentle but persistent reign of generosity that has nourished more than 70 organizations over the years. One of those recipients is Memorial Sloan Kettering, the hospital where Douglas was treated for cancer, a gesture of gratitude, transformed into ongoing support. But his impact doesn't stop at healthcare. He's also a stalwart champion of the arts. As a benefactor and board member of the Perelman Performing Arts Center in New York City, and a longtime board member of the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center in Connecticut, where he once worked as a college student during 3 transformative summers, Douglas blends memory with legacy. He was present, fittingly, at the ribbon-cutting ceremony in September 2023, not just as a benefactor, but as someone with deep roots in the institution's story. Douglas's support of artistic freedom extends to PEN America, where he's presented awards at its annual galas. He believes in the power of free expression, and he backs it up with action. He also helped bring to life the Michael Douglas Pediatric Brain Tumor Research Center at UC San Francisco, established in 1999, giving families and young patients a fighting chance in the face of life's hardest moments. Higher education hasn't escaped his attention either. At his alma mater, UC Santa Barbara, Douglas supports the Center for Film, Television, and New Media, and he established the Michael Douglas Foundation Visiting Artists Program to inspire the next generation of storytellers through the Department of Theater and Dance. And while the arts and health may be front and center in his heart, Douglas hasn't neglected his role on the world stage. As a supporter of the Clinton Global Initiative, he's contributed to efforts addressing global challenges. In 2023, he lent his voice, literally, to the organization's opening film, Keep Going, setting the tone for its annual meeting. Then, there's golf. Yes, golf. For 12 years, Douglas hosted the Michael Douglas and Friends Celebrity Golf Tournament. But this wasn't just a celebrity vanity project. It raised over $10 million for the Motion Picture and Television Fund, ensuring that those who built the entertainment industry are cared for in times of need. Through it all, Douglas continues to serve as a trustee of the Douglas Foundation, established in 1964 by his father, Kirk, and stepmother, Anne. To date, it has granted more than $118 million to causes centered on equitable access to education, healthcare, and the arts. In every sense, Michael Douglas has carried forward that mission, not as an obligation, but as an extension of who he is. Whether quietly funding a pediatric research center, standing on stage to support writers, or offering his voice to a global cause, Douglas shows that for some, celebrity is not an end, but a tool. Michael Douglas's personal life reads like a script that blends passion, heartbreak, reconciliation, and even courtroom drama. Though none of it was scripted, after wrapping up the film Summer Tree in 1971, Douglas entered into a relationship with actress Brenda Vaccaro. For nearly 6 years, the two were a well-known couple in Hollywood, sharing a bond that bridged the shifting tides of the 1970s. But like many stories under the Hollywood spotlight, their romance eventually faded into memory, making way for new chapters. One of those new chapters arrived in March 1977, when Douglas married Deandra Luker, the poised and sophisticated daughter of an Austrian diplomat. She was 12 years his junior, and by 1978, they welcomed their only child together, a son named Cameron. The marriage, however, would not go the distance. By 1995, the union unraveled, and the divorce settlement made headlines with its eye-popping $45 million price tag. A stark reminder that even private heartbreaks can come with public price tags in the world of celebrity. Then came the turning point that tabloids couldn't resist. In 1999, Douglas met Welsh actress Catherine Zeta-Jones, and from the very beginning, subtlety was not on the menu. Upon meeting her at a film festival in Deauville, France, Douglas didn't waste words. He reportedly told her, "I want to father your children." Bold? Definitely. But apparently effective. The two were married on November 18, 2000, in a lavish affair that captivated the media. Their son, Dylan Michael, had already been born a few months earlier in August, and by 2003, their family expanded again with the birth of their daughter, Caris Zeta. Their family home, a coastal estate nestled in the tranquil hills near Valdemosa, Mallorca, seemed to embody a fairy tale existence. Yet, even the most idyllic settings can't shield a relationship from stress. In 2013, People magazine reported that Douglas and Zeta-Jones had quietly begun living apart earlier that May. The news stirred speculation, but their representatives were careful to clarify they were taking time to work on the marriage, not end it. By November, the storm had passed. Zeta-Jones moved back into their New York apartment, and the couple continued forward, united. Of course, not all the drama in Douglas's life unfolded on screen. In 1997, he was unexpectedly pulled into legal proceedings when James Parker, a New York golf caddy, sued him for a staggering $25 million. Parker claimed an errant golf ball struck him in the groin, allegedly hit by Douglas himself, causing severe physical and emotional distress. The case never went to trial. The parties settled out of court, and the episode faded into the footnotes of celebrity legal lore. A far more serious matter emerged in 2004, when Douglas and Zeta-Jones were targeted by a stalker named Dawnette Knight. Knight had sent a series tweets of disturbing, graphic threats to the couple, particularly targeting Zeta-Jones. So severe were the messages that Zeta-Jones testified to, fearing a nervous breakdown. Knight, who confessed to being obsessed with Douglas, eventually admitted to the harassment and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. The ordeal, though harrowing, ultimately ended with justice served. But it underscored how fame can sometimes draw darkness from the margins. Through every twist, romantic, familial, and legal, Michael Douglas has maintained a life as textured and gripping as any character he's portrayed. His off-screen journey, filled with love, loss, turbulence, and resilience, is a testament to the layered reality of a life lived both in and out of the spotlight.